we did have a lingering question after Rewind to Dynamite. Thankfully, we have a response and an answer to that question.
Here we are once more, a match down, and again, everybody is always retiring. He's retiring because of his injuries and this and that. Well, neither of these things. I'm not injured, nor am I retiring, nor am I leaving. I feel this happens every match I have, and I don't understand how many times you're going to say these things and then them not happening, and people still are going to, fall for that. I haven't been injured in more than 3 years, and I'm referring to my back injury, of course, and I only posted about that after it was already done, and if you would have read the post, you'd have seen that and not read what other people have written about it. I'm fine. I've been fine for the longest time. I would really appreciate it if that stuff stops, man. If I'm going to retire, you're going to hear from me, and not after Adam just cuts a promo just as a thank you for the match, because that's all it was. So, thank you.
That's all it was. I completely dropped character. We had an embrace in the ring, completely unprompted, and that was it. Why would anyone possibly think that there was more to it than that? Number one, I understand that there is a lot of discourse online, and for one, I would respectfully encourage Malakai Black to get offline as frequently as possible. Number two, I couldn't imagine being bothered to the extent of people speculating about what does this mean. Anyway, it's
we're not in his shoes. Like last time this happened, apparently he received death threats for.
Well, that's insane. That's insane.
Yeah. So that's the level that I think he has to deal with. So
I understand that, and
like.
I say that as someone that does not have to deal with the discourse that these wrestlers do. But I think that's also like a signal of that, like this can be poison online if that's what it's generating out of you, like that level of reaction to this. And I'm sure all those things that he labeled are probably out there. I did not see one person speculate that he was hurt after we just watched him wrestle a full match. Second was all people had to wait was Thursday night, he wrestled on the Collision taping. So, I mean, whatever thought there would have been evaporated 24 hours later.
Yeah, listen, I
am not going to blame anybody that watched, and ourselves included, who made it very clear we are not reporting anything. But to watch that and not even have the thought that this could be something, you've lost me. That absolutely, you invited that speculation, and you have to be ready for that. That the simple thought that is this guy wrapping something up here with such an abrupt departure from this character we have seen on screen for 3 years.
Yeah. I definitely feel some level of sympathy for what this guy might receive in his DMs and having to constantly answer this. I was trying to refresh myself about what happened the last time he had to field this question.
We're going to start off with Malakai Black, who responded the other day on Instagram Live to basically discussing his status with AEW, because it has been very muddied, I would say, ever since All Out, and where he gave what appeared to be a goodbye to the live crowd. And then later on that evening, it was Will Washington from the Grapsity podcast who asked Tony Khan during the press conference about what is the status of Malakai Black. What did that mean? Tony Khan could not comment on it. And since that time, Malakai Black did put out a statement not all that long ago stating that he did ask for his release. Now, later in that same statement, he referred to his release in quotation marks.
So, I posted a statement, and even if you've, of course, all of you have read my statement, because even if you read my statement, it clearly reads that even release is in quotations. Now, if you don't know what quotation means, it means that the author does not agree with said quote or said word choice, or it also means that it's not his wording.
He called into question the length of his contract that is out there, stating it's not 5 years.
Guys, how many times do I have to tell people, if you can't even get the years of my contract right, which is a very minuscule detail, then how are you expecting, or how are people expecting that these guys no very intimate and private detailing in regards to my private business. My contract's not 5 years. My contract's never been 5 years. Like, again, this is all bullshit. It's all lies.
Well, that term, the only reason that length is known is because Tony Khan divulged that when he was on Busted Open Radio back over the summer, stating that Black has nearly 5 years left on his deal. So that strictly comes from Tony Khan's lips of the length of the deal.
I remember myself having a very similar reaction to that Instagram debunking as I did this, where Malakai Black, and he, of course, has the right to react however he wants to whatever criticism he receives.
Of course.
But I also felt in that instance, like I do in this one, that you can't be surprised by these reactions, given your actions and your words and the way your character, especially on Wednesday, was presented in this match. To be shocked that how could people think I was leaving? You know, he was only cutting a promo about having a great match with me. How often does that fucking happen? Especially when you're supposed to
and if it was just the promo, I don't think there would have been any of that. It was
a lingering shot of Black on the
it was the
ramp.
hug. It was like all of it combined. I mean, how? Anyway, listen. I'm with you. I understand.
No, I'm actively pissed off, actually, that like he would be outraged that he's receiving this level of speculation. You can't tell me anybody watching this who's any sort of educated wrestling fan doesn't feel like they were trying to suggest something that was different. Now, I've also heard speculation from audiences that are saying maybe this is just their way of like teasing a babyface turn. I guess that's very possible. This is like kind of a very unique way of going about it. I just don't think like he shouldn't be surprised at all that this is the type of reaction that came about from this particular segment.
If this is the start of a babyface turn, then I think that setup with Buddy Matthews the week prior was awful because that's really poor storytelling if that was the intention of going into this match where Malakai Black would come out a babyface and to not do any setting of the stage to set up this match and at least set the table for that.
That's about as much we were saying, like for the most part, we were saying it seemed like they were trying to tell a very significant story here with Malakai Black. It just, we weren't ready for it because there was zero setup to lead to it. And Malakai Black is now coming back saying, how could people think I was retiring? How could people think that we were, how could people be reading into this match as if we were trying to do something different? This was just a plain old regular match. It really was not. So anyway, I kind of took issue with that.
If he got that level of response of people that took it that way, then maybe it's questioning your form of storytelling. If that's the message that was received, who is in control of the art?
Right. Oh,
it is in the receiver. Okay, we can get deep.
If you like this video, consider joining our Patreon, the Post Wrestling Cafe. Multiple bonus podcasts every week, ad-free shows, and access to our full archive. Otherwise, a like and subscribe is much appreciated. Thank you for watching.